Fantastic, simply amazing.
Okay, cool. We got everything going, got everything recorded, got everything live. How's it going? This is Deonte Burden, aka Mr. Short Dog himself. I want to welcome you guys to Game Changers. This is a interview session where I meet with super entrepreneurs, small business owners, to talk about their actual entrepreneurial journey, their business, what they're doing and stuff, and give you guys extra insight to different kind of endeavors that people have taken upon themselves to go in the world of entrepreneurship. And tonight's guest, what we have, and this is the inaugural guest. So I got a very special person to be the inaugural guest on a Game Challenge, and that's Miss Jennae Pitts, and she's the owner of UltimateSkyeTravel. And not only she's the owner of this business, this young lady has a super career and other with being in the military, a lot of experience, a lot of talent, and I'm just super lucky to have her as my initial guest to be on Game Challenge tonight. So I want to give a warm welcome to Miss Jennae Pitts. How you doing, young lady?
Hello, I am fabulous, fantastic, and simply amazing, Mr. Burton. How are you?
I'm all right. I need some of that coffee you drank to be all fabulous, fantastic, and super amazing, all that stuff that you are. But I'm cool. Well, listen, again, I want to thank you for coming on the show and everything. I really do appreciate it and stuff, because I really, with Mr. Short Dollar, when we talk about personal finance, business, entrepreneurship, and real estate investing, I really want to give a lot of light to small business owners, entrepreneurs, because a lot of people have a lot of shared journeys, a lot of shared, successes and failures and stuff. So anytime that we can get people from certain industries to be able to share their journey and their story and everything like that, you can provide a world of inspiration to a lot of people. So that was my whole thought process and, creating Game Changers. So again, thank you for coming on tonight, okay?
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Okay, pleasure all mine. Well, listen, before we get started, Jennae, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, as far as who you are, what you do, and everything. Give us a little brief summary on yourself. And I say brief, but I know you might, give a whole 2 or 3 hour monologue. Just give a little brief summary on yourself.
Look, just a monologue. Okay. So, because I you're right. I gotta keep it short because I will do 3 hours. But my name is Jennae Pitts. I am a U.S. Army retired mother of 4. I'm out of Waldorf, Maryland. The Army taught me how to shoot, move, and communicate, but what they didn't teach me about is wealth and legacy. And after 25 years of service, I found out that upon my death, my 3 sons were no longer going to be eligible as beneficiaries for my retirement, and that the majority of my check would go to the U.S. Treasury. I just said to myself, when you work for something so long only to find out that you will even get all of the benefits from it, what do you do? So guess what? I became an entrepreneur. So that's a little bit about me.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna make sure when you're talking, I'm gonna make sure I mute myself and everything and stuff. Well, that's cool. That's awesome with everything. So, with your company, Ultimate Skye, let me pronounce right. Ultimate Skye Travel.
Yes, that's correct. Ultimate Skye Travel.
Okay. When I think about Ultimate Skye Travel, and I think about the travel industry, I have all kind of different ideas because I just remember, most time when I use the travel agent, when I was in the military, when we would go and they'll book a flights and everything. And I want to get better as far as traveling abroad, doing everything, but I'm not the most versed with the travel industry. Can you give like a brief explanation of just the travel industry itself?
Well, the travel industry is an $8 trillion industry. It's one of the largest industries out there. You can go and Google it and type in largest industries. You got the automobile industry, you got the medical industry. And I was in the medical industry for a very long time in my military career, 25 plus years. And I thought we were like the biggest industry. But guess what? You have to go to conferences, doctor has to go to different places. And what do you use to get there? You use airplanes, you get rental cars, and you have to stay in hotels. So travel being what it is an $8 trillion industry, and it's, slated to double, almost a 15 trillion as a trend right now in the next 10 years.
Okay. Oh, well, that's awesome. I mean, it gave me some extra insight with that. And, speaking of just with your military experience, and you're saying, okay, how the military gave you all these skills, but you brought up the skills that the military didn't give you. Explain to me, how was your transition in regards to leaving from the military to going to this path of entrepreneurship. How has that been so far, and what have been, how just give us like an explanation or a little story in regards to how that transition has been going.
Well, prior to me transitioning out the military, I came across this opportunity from one of my battle buddies who was
Okay.
always already an entrepreneur and, doing a lot of things on her own. What I didn't know is, well, first of all, I didn't want to be an entrepreneur. I really just was going to get a Department of Defense job after I retired, right? And just call it a day. So that's what I started transitioning, focusing on is what my value would bring to the economic market for someone else.
Okay.
So when this came across, basically, after finding out about my retirement check, I was like, wait a minute. So that kind of hit me in a different light. So I was like, well, maybe entrepreneurship is not a bad thing if I'm able to do something and build something for myself and work hard for it, just like I do for the military. We do 12, 15 hours sometimes. It's sometimes 7 days a week, nonstop. So if I'm already doing it, as I call it, blood, sweat, and tears. If I'm already giving blood, sweat, and tears for something else, don't mind. I love serving my country, but I just said to myself, well, Jennae, don't be scared. You can do that for yourself.
Cool, cool, cool. I hear you on that. I know I gave a lot of blood, sweat, and plenty of tears and everything. Well, that's cool. That's cool. Now, with the whole inception of the idea when your battle buddy brought the opportunity up to you, kind of describe the process where you say, okay, listen, this seems like a pretty cool opportunity. Give me the pros and cons. It seems pretty interesting. Describe the process behind the scenes of creating Ultimate Skye Travel.
Well,
Ultimate
honestly,
Skye Limit. Is Skye Travel limit?
Ultimate Skye Travel, honey.
I
The
got it
is
wrong.
the limit, no matter the budget.
I hear you. So what was the thought process in creating Ultimate Skye Travel?
So basically, I was on my way to Costa Rica. I just had a point, where I needed to take 30 days to leave to just regroup.
Okay.
And that's when she brought it to my attention. She showed me some information. The pros were just really like a no-brainer. I wrote all of them down, benefits as far as investing in myself, tax benefits, just the list went on.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as the con, my con was really like, well, can I do this? That was the only con. It was nothing, that limitly. It was a small investment to get started. I didn't have to have a brick and mortar. I didn't have to keep my lights on or any type of things like that. Didn't have to design my website. It was really like coming in on a turnkey business that was set up for new beginners as entrepreneurs like myself. And so those were all pros for that.
Cool. That's cool. That's cool. Well, you know what? And when you think about it, we start doing that. I always call that front end analysis, where we sit there looking at the pros and cons, the cost analysis, we're weighing everything out and stuff. That's cool to do when we get through it and we say, hey, we've drawn this ultimate business plan and everything looks great. And then we sign up for it and then we start. And my question is, once you started, what has been the hardest part? Just like, hey, listen, I actually went through my pros and cons and everything, but whoa, I wasn't expecting this. What has been the hardest part with doing it? Because I know the best part is, you can give me, I've been making money, I've been traveling, da, 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 that's great. But what has been the most difficult part once you got started and saying, okay, this has been something I probably wasn't aware of, not saying it held you back or did anything like that, but what has been the most challenging part for you since you got started?
Honestly, Deonte, the biggest thing for me challenging was, trying to figure out my LLC. And doing it on my own and what that entailed. That was my biggest challenge for me, because like I said, everything for this particular business was already set up for me. My website was already set up for me. So I didn't have to go out and get a webmaster. I didn't have to design my website. I had to go and look up my name. I had to go on Google and make sure it wasn't taken. That's what I also had to do my articles of organization to make sure it wasn't taken to get my LLC, which, like I said, that was the biggest thing for me, because I didn't know what I was doing and I didn't know how to do that, nor did I have any kind of guidance to like, hey, this is what you do. I had to do the tax ID number before, I get my LLC and set it, put that stuff in motion and play, then open up your business account. It's like actually a step-by-step process. And I didn't know that step-by-step process. I had to teach myself that step-by-step process.
You'd have a Deonte Burden or Mr. Short Dollar in your life at that time to kind of bring you up to speed. So I understand. No, well, that's cool. That's cool. Again, this is a Game Changers. I'm Deonte Burden, aka Mr. Short Dollar himself. Tonight's guest, we have Jennae Pitts. She is the owner of UltimateSkyeTravel, travel agency, and she's giving us, we're doing a good interview in regards to, her story, her business, her industry, and what she'll be looking to do in the future and everything. Now, listen, we're just going down this path, okay? Talk to our friend. We got everything started. You had like a little 5-minute hang up dealing with your LLC and everything. How did it feel? How did it feel? And how quickly was it before you got your first client? And how did it feel when you got it? I mean, how quickly did you get your first client?
Well, I started my business in May of 2018. I got my first client in June of 2018. Okay. So it was relatively quick, and it was really word of mouth, just sharing the information. I did a marketing strategy where I went Facebook Live and I told people what I was doing. So my Facebook friends got to see it and they got to telling other people. So it came from a referral from one of my Facebook friends who said, hey, go check her out. And so when I got that, I was very surprised. Mm-hmm. I was like, whoa, this is easy. I did that on Facebook and it was free. I didn't have to pay no money. And I was like, I got my first client. I was so excited. I was like, yes, let's keep going. I was like, I made the right decision, honestly. And so it just it really boosted up my my self-esteem and saying that I was going down the right track.
Me myself. Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. So with that said, I mean, if that pretty much has been kind of like, the norm, like, just doing like organic marketing, just boosting it, word of mouth, kind of spreading out, doing good by people, that's been pretty much the norm in regards to how your growth has been?
It really, really has. I was not a social media person. I didn't even do Facebook. I did Facebook for my family to show them my family, like my children, so that when their birthdays and stuff was going on. Yeah. But when I became a business owner, the marketing strategy changed so much, as in where you have to put yourself out there to tell people, hey, this is what you're doing, and put information out there as far as like quotes for trips or information tips for travel and different things of that nature. Okay. It was a learning process by itself.
Gotcha. Well, that's cool. And I think that's a lot of times, just like if you get into business and you're not necessarily we probably don't look at those actual social media platforms as actually what they can be, and they're really free advertising platforms where you can do it, because again, you can actually just share it, post stuff and everything like that. And it has a much bigger multiplier effect than copying flyers and sticking them on somebody's cars and stuff like that, because you have so many people spread word and share it instantaneously. It's awesome. And I think a lot of people don't take advantage of it the way they should. Now listen, if you guys haven't noticed, a couple things about Miss Pitts. Not only she's also a business owner, but she's also a beautiful female. And she's also a beautiful Black female. How about that? The question I have is actually, I want to know, kind of share your experience, because one thing about it is, I'm a Black male, and I understand, actually the plight of it is how, difficult a challenge it can be as an entrepreneur and a business owner. And city of Atlanta is different. We have a lot of sisters down here. They get it. Every time you turn around, you got sisters in business, sisters growing together in business, sisters this, that, and that in the city of Atlanta. It's like a mecca for female entrepreneurs, especially Black female entrepreneurs. But I want to know, can you share some of your experience with not only being a female entrepreneur, but also being a Black female entrepreneur? Can you share some of your experiences with that?
Well, first of all, not everything is as it would seem, as simple as it would seem. You said a couple of things. You said beautiful and Black female, right? So one thing, when you're doing a lot of social media, and I'm just going to be transparent, so people that's out there who are possibly thinking about doing a business and using that marketing, and you are a Black female, don't be so surprised when you're putting out business information, but your inbox is getting full of other than business inquiries. It's really a challenge because of the simple fact, you're trying to, not trying, I like to take that vocabulary. You are postured up to be bold and beautiful, and you're talking about nothing but business, BBB, and none of that came. Hey, I'm single and I want to mingle. Nothing came from that. But apparently, sometimes they get in people's brains, sometimes it just comes across that way. So when you're in your inbox and you're trying to find, your clients, people who are actually looking for quotes, or people who are very interested in what you're doing, then you have to go through those to just weed them out. And so I found that to be challenging as one. But another thing that I found to be challenging is that a lot of us don't, I would say, you said Atlanta is like a mecca, in the travel industry, we have what we call a mecca too, where we're not solo, we're not alone. But then you also have that stereotype where we only deal with low budget, like holler at me on a budget, like I want to go somewhere for cheap, inexpensive, like we gonna hook you up. Like that comes across where, hey, I'm looking for a hookup. Like, how does that even come across in any business reference where you just feel like you just need to ask for a hookup? I often wonder, do you go to Macy's and ask them for a discount? Do you go to Nordstrom's and ask them for a discount? Or do you pay what they ask you? So that's another thing. I think we're always, looked at as undervalued, or not, taking for what we're worth, because we're Black females. And hey, that's just the shade of our skin and not what we are.
Well, that's funny because I never, when you start dropping that in regards to the actual stuff going into your inbox and stuff like that, and it ran across my mind and everything like that. I was just more so people, kind of looking at the chauvinistic aspect, like, oh, people not taking it serious. I wasn't even thinking about folks trying to, get a flight and get a date at the same time. So, they just kind of threw something at me with that and everything. But I really wanted to ask you that because it is so challenging. Number one, starting in business, and then you start looking at it just being a female, because both of us being both Army veterans, we know that people may not necessarily take a female, as serious initially, and then you have to sit here and have to prove yourself. Then you put your race on top of it, have to prove yourself extra and stuff. So I just wanted, just shed some light on that, and it's not, and it's unfortunate, but it's there, and you can't avoid that and everything. And I think far too often, people have those certain, they're not setbacks, just things you have to come to realization. It is what it is. You just have to find a way to circumvent it, because there are people that are going to see certain things and not going to take you serious. And we, in a perfect world, we could say people don't have certain biases, people don't have certain lenses where they see certain things, but that's just not how it is. And, as a business owner, we just got to find ways to pivot around those kind of people. And they will want to do business with them. This response you're going to get. If you don't, we just move on. But I just really want you to share that with us, because I don't think that information is given out a lot. Because to your point with that is, there are probably some people that have came at you in a certain way and like, hey, listen, they probably knew they were wrong, but they don't understand, how impactful that is. Like, listen, to them maybe a big deal. Like, you bring it up now, like, nah, we're trying to do business, so we don't need to bring that up and everything. So I appreciate you sharing that. Again, this is Game Changers. I am Deonte Burden, aka Mr. Show Dog himself. This is the interview where we're talking to small business owners and entrepreneurs in regards to their business, their story, their journey, and everything to get where they are, and also discuss what they're doing, and also give them information, insight to their future as well. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Mr. Short Dollar. We're streaming live. We're on Facebook and YouTube. We talk about personal finance, business, entrepreneurship, and real estate investing. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Been putting a lot of great information out regards to everything with Mr. Short Dollar. Channel has been growing very, very quickly, and I appreciate everybody's support. Back to the young lady we got here right now. What I want to ask you next, Ms. Pitts, I'm sorry, and our guest tonight is Ms. Jennae Pitts, the owner of Skye Travel. It's a travel agency. She's a super dope entrepreneur, good friend of mine, a lot of good information, very, very talented young lady and everything. And my next question for you, Jennae, is what do you wish you had known? Like, see where you're at right now. Like, okay, you done actually been through everything, making your money, you're doing good. I see you on social media, basking in the sun, traveling and stuff, taking pictures of statues I never knew existed. Cool. But what I want you to share with us, what that you know right now as an entrepreneur and a business owner, what do you know right now that if you can go back in time, man, I wish I would have known that when I first got started. You know, some of those learning lessons that you had. What are some of them things, if it is some?
Reading. I would have read more.
Okay.
I would have read more. The biggest thing that I learned as entrepreneurs is self-development. They say all leaders are readers. Now I read, but it was mostly like army driven and different things like that. But what I'm reading now is not just specific to entrepreneurship, it's specific to just life in general. You know, the society, making decisions in society. For example, looking at things that's happening. A lot of us missed out on Google. We missed out on Google because we wasn't really educated about what it took to invest in Google, which was not a lot. All you have to do is just read a book, figure out like, oh, investments, okay, this is how this works, this is what I need to do, boom. But a lot of us don't know that because we didn't read. And so now that I'm reading a lot, did I miss out on Zoom? Nope. When this pandemic happened, nope. Did not miss out on Zoom because now I'm educated. I'm now learning what it's like to look at things that's happening. I don't know if you guys ever heard, like, you know, when the Great Depression happened, there were millionaires that were made that came out of that because they saw opportunities to capitalize on during the Depression. And they still have that, oh, as we say, old money, that old money from that. So right now during this pandemic, looking into these like Zoom, you know, the stock from it, looking at Uber Eats and Grubhub and different things like that, and seeing how they were existing, but now because of a pandemic, they have now just blown up. But investing in them before, it's really got big, like right when it's happening, and not waiting. And so reading is something I would have did a long time ago, because I would tell myself back then a few years ago, girl, you need to read so you can be making some money, making decisions right now.
You know, that's so important you said, because that's one of the things I already harp on a lot. You know, like you said, reading for the task or reading for the particular time that you have to do it is totally different for reading for enrichment or reading for empowerment. And your approach is different, because a lot of times, like you said, we'll read just, hey, you know, to take care of what we're just trying to take care of, or just get past a certain thing. But when you're reading to empower you to grow, it's kind of like you feel like it's just like you had a good workout. You feel stronger, you feel smarter, and you've actually put something in your database or your brain that's actually going to make you just function a little differently and everything. But that's an awesome point, because again, so often we just read for tasks. We get something out of our jobs. You know, these are things we need to do. We read it. That's it. Or read the magazines and stuff. But when you start reading for enrichment and empowerment, it does something to you. You know, you get like a whole big, nice holistic effect about it, because now you know you're like you're growing and everything. So now that's pretty awesome and everything. And we're nearing like the end of everything, but I want to ask you a question, is because I feel your energy. I know you're gonna be super successful and everything, and I'm super proud of you the way you've been in your journey and stuff like that. I'll be watching from the sideline, checking you out and everything and stuff. But I want to ask you a question. Just looking at everything you're doing with UltimateSkyeTravel, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years, and UltimateSkyeTravel as well?
UltimateSkyeTravel will be a six-figure travel business. I will be a six-figure travel business owner. Now, I'm accustomed to making six figures in my linear income. You know, I've done that, but I had to work for it. But now, be able to have that on a residual basis, you know, and have that constantly coming in the next 5 years, that's what it's going to be like. And the blood, sweat, and tears that I'm pouring into now. So I'm basically working, like I say, working like nobody else so that I can live like nobody else. And in the next 5 years, I will be on my way well to living.
Well, that's cool. That's cool to hear. And that's one of the key things, you know, like you're talking like just setting up those systems where, you know, you're getting everything set up on autopilot. So, you know, the money's working while you're sleeping, everything's growing and stuff like that. That's awesome. That's awesome. And once you get to six figures and stuff like that, you know, you adopt, you know, a little short guy in Atlanta, you know, I'm here, you know, everything, you know. I'll leave myself open for that and everything. But again, I want to reiterate, I am appreciative of you coming on to the show tonight. And I am super proud of you. I've seen your growth over the past couple of years, see what you've been doing and stuff like that. So I'm super excited to see where, you know, Jennae Pitts and UltimateSkyeTravel goes in the next couple of years. We're wrapping everything up. Can you please give us all your social media and contact information?
So if you're on Facebook, if you type in Ultimate Skye, that's SKYE Travel, my business page will pop up with you. But if you www.facebook.com/Ultimate Skye, SKYE, that's the E, Travel, my page will come up, as well as on Instagram, www.instagram.com, again, /Ultimate Skye Travel. And then if you're on Twitter, it's Skye Ultimate, but you type in Ultimate Skye Travel and you will get me as well as on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel. You go to type in Ultimate Skye Travel, you will get my YouTube channel. And if you happen to be on LinkedIn, I am also on it, but I'm on LinkedIn as Jennae, Jennae. That's Pitts, Pitts, where you will also see a lot of information from me. So on all social, and I'm on TikTok as Ultimate Skye Travel.
Awesome. And I want to also let everyone know that I have all of Jennae's social media contact information and links posted in the description of the video as well, in addition to all our links as well. So I have all her contact information for our social media platforms, ways to get in contact with her in regards to her in the business, all the other different platforms. All the links will be attached to the video as well, okay? Listen, again, this is Game Changers, the inaugural Game Changers interview. I really appreciate all you guys tuning in with our lovely guest, Ms. Jennae Pitts, the owner of UltimateSkyeTravel. I am Deonte Burden, aka Mr. Short Dollar himself. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Mr. Short Dollar. We talk about personal finance, business, entrepreneurship, and real estate investing. Make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms as well. We're on YouTube, Facebook. We're also in TikTok on the same name, Mr. Short Dollar. You can also follow me on Instagram at Deonte_77. Again, this is Game Changers. I appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Mr. Short Dollar, and I'll talk to you guys later. Take care.